residents sounding off on a proposal to expand Methodist Hospital. The hospital wants to construct a new building along 5th and 6th Streets and 8th Avenue. The plan would demolish more than a dozen existing brownstones there to make way for the new hospital facility.
Some community members are fighting back against plans to expand Park Slope's New York Methodist Hospital.
For months, many have expressed opposition to New York Methodist Hospital's plans to create this new outpatient facility around 8th Avenue and 6th Street.
Please understand, we're not opposed to the expansion of Methodist Hospital. What we are opposed to, or what the community is opposed to, is this level of expansion.
I'm a grateful patient of New York Methodist, a strong supporter of their mission, and a neighbor on 5th Street. I'm also the president of Preserve Park Slope, an organization comprised of hundreds of neighbors that share the hospital's desire to enhance healthcare services and remain financially viable while also respecting the unique character of the Park Slope neighborhood.
In response to these comments, the hospital has decided to make 3 design modifications to reduce the presence of the building on 5th Street. These modifications result in a building that is in keeping with the character of the neighborhood.
The proposed design doesn't satisfy the commitment made by Methodist Hospital in the Memorandum of Agreement dated September 15, 2009 between the hospital and Park Slope Civic Council to endeavor to make every effort to preserve and add to the sense of place as defined by the Landmarks Preservation Commission. Methodist's proposed 4-story glass window wall at the 8th Avenue building entrance has an unfamiliar height, planar character, and scale, and would stand out as a highly illuminated commercial beacon simply without precedent.
This whole idea of programmatic needs seems to have been put on the side. They're constantly referring to it and using it and mentioning it in some type of incantatorial fashion. It becomes a mantra, and it becomes an assumption that it in fact exists. It doesn't exist. They haven't proven that it exists. What we have here is a bunch of programmatic wishes and not needs. And I know for a fact that they have done studies. They have done studies in preparation of the certificate of needs that has to be presented to the Department of Health in order to secure the certificate of needs, and I ask that the board demand that those studies be submitted to it. If the board is not going to demand that those studies be submitted to it, I have no other recourse than to subpoena them to New York Methodist Hospital, and hopefully through the subpoena, I'll be able to present them myself. Why they're being hidden from you is beyond me. I suspect they're being hidden from you for a particular reason, and that reason is they cannot support the programmatic needs argument.
With respect to traffic management, I would like to note that the hospital is aware of existing traffic management issues on the streets surrounding the hospital.
There is an upper limit to the amount of hospital program that this neighborhood can absorb, and we believe that we have already reached that limit. These narrow streets were built before cars and trucks, and they are not getting wider. There are no major arteries leading to and from the hospital to alleviate the impact of a major increase in cars, trucks, taxis, car service cars, ambulances, and ambulances.
How many trucks do you anticipate would be coming to this loading dock?
It's approximately 30 trucks daily with 3 in the peak hour.
And that's comparable to what is currently happening, or is it an increase? I wasn't clear. The amount of trucks.
It would be 46%. I'm sorry. No, it would be additional.
So it's 30 additional trucks, yes. Not okay. Yes.
But right now, is there any truck traffic on 5th Street?
I don't believe so.
There are nearly 5,000 students attending schools within a few blocks of the proposed facility, where the hospital's expansion will add 100,000 cars at least and 6,500 trucks each year, not including construction vehicles. The hospital deflects responsibility and says it will have basically no impact at 8 a.m. and 3 p.m., and that Brad Landers' task force can address it. Though Landers' task force meets infrequently and has never discussed student safety.
The hospital is also working with Councilmember Brad Lander's Traffic Task Force and expects that the task force will recommend further traffic management measures that the hospital will undertake.
They keep referring to the Brad Lander Task Force as their answer to traffic mitigation. I'm a member of that task force. The task force has not met in 4.5 months, and the only thing that the hospital has done in response to those meetings is further reduce the size of their garage, which will save them money, give them more space, excuse me, but which they're not reallocating to lowering the height of the building.
Methodist has failed to quantify or analyze the impacts of the increased emissions of carbon monoxide and particulate matter. They say these are not of concern, but since these are both toxic elements that are emitted from the burning of fossil fuels and from vehicles, they might not be of concern to Methodists, but they're of concern to the community, and they're of concern to the parents whose kids go to the schools next door.
Studies in Rhode Island, Cincinnati, San Francisco, and New York all point to the toxic effects of traffic pollution and links to the rising incidence of childhood asthma. What plans does the hospital have to curtail the environmental pollution from demolition, construction, diesel emissions, and increased traffic?